Hey everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Listen, this podcast is going to be on 100 days to success. Or we could call it 100 days to mini mastery. Or we could call it 100 days to massive goals. But here's the catch. Usually you got to pick one. I usually tell people, listen, sometimes each year you have 1 to maybe 4 big goals. Let's say you say, I want to buy a house this year, Erica. I want to lose weight this year. I want to learn Spanish and I want to do something else, right? And I go, whew, that's a lot of goals. Why don't you break it down into 100-day increments? And if you round it out, 100 days from today, it will be May 16th. Like, what if I told you May 16th, your life could be incredibly different? But you gotta usually pick 1 to 2 things, max, that you can master, you can hold on, and you can control, right? So let me break this down. 100 days usually is 8 to 12 weeks, max that 13th week, depending on where it falls in the calendar. Like from today, it falls on the 13th week, technically, for May 16th, right? 100 days. So let's just break that down. Like, let's say 100 days in fitness. The average person to see really big results, it takes 8 to 12 weeks. No matter how many overnight commercials you watch, no matter how many juices and cleanses and all these things you see, I can tell you right now, if every day for the next 100 days, you work out, let's say you do, 1 hour a day. One day you do boxing, the next day you do yoga, you do, a bicycling or a group exercise, a CrossFit class, right? Every day. Now, we're talking about 7 days a week, no rest, for the next 100 days. And then every day you get up and have a green smoothie. Something chock full of everything your body needs. You got the spinach. Let's say you get to Shakeology, from Beachbody. Let's say you get the fruits and the veggies and everything in there. The flaxseed. You get that thing popping in the morning, all right? You have it in the morning every day for 100 days. I can't guarantee you because, that's illegal to guarantee. But I can pretty much promise you the body you'll see, what we call those summer ready bodies, what we see that just the difference in what you'll look like and what you'll feel will be incredibly different because 100 days is literally 2 to 3 months. When we say 8 to 12 weeks, we're talking about 2 months, right? When we're talking about 12 weeks, we're talking about 3 months. 3 months going almost on the 4th. You're going to feel different, be different, and look different. It'll be really that possible, literally with the 1 to 2 hours a day. If that was your major goal, if your doctor said, listen, you're going to die if you don't lose this weight. And that has happened to several people. Or if you don't lose this weight for gastric bypass surgery, it's not going to happen. That person kicked their butt in gear 1 hour a day or tried to walk every day. Guess what? They qualified for those gastric bypass surgeries. Usually they lost 60 to 70 or 80 pounds in order to qualify. But what did that take? That took massive push of energy and force. Now, I'm going to say one that's going to be on the borderline. People are going to be like, oh my God, I'm mad with you, Erica. Poverty. So the national poverty line is around 11,900. So let's just say 12 grand a year. And let's say for a family of 4, it's 23 grand a year. If for the next 100 days, you and your family, let's say it's a husband and wife. Let's just say one of you, for the next 100 days, works at Papa John's or does Uber or does Lyft or does a combination of things for the next 100 days. And let's say it just brings you an extra $1,500 to $2,000 into your home. Because most likely, around a lot of people are making 19 grand a year. The average person is working in the country 50,000, but really if you look at the numbers under that, it's 31,000. And then a whole bunch of people are making 19 grand. What does that mean? 19 grand a year means they're making about $1,500 a month. They're working full time for about $10, $11 an hour. That's what that means. So let's say they use that 100 days to get an extra $1,500 to $200 in their pocket a month. Times 3 months, that's like $4,000 to almost $6,000 bump in their year. Now, does that change their financial status a bunch? Possibly not, but it does bump them up an extra 5 to 6 grand a year in income. Now, that gets them back out of the 19 more towards the 24,000, 26,000. Now, imagine if that person, just needed that 5 grand to pay off their car. They needed that 5 grand to pay up their rent for a couple months. Let's say they got a little cheap $800 apartment and they pay their rent up for a couple months. How much better do you think they feel? How much pressure is off their back the next couple of months with their budgeting and their income? Greatly. And that's just 100 days. I don't always recommend people work 2 and 3 jobs. I always say try to find sales or find a career or find something that's going to take you to the next level. But sometimes people are teachers. Sometimes people are assistants. Sometimes people are nursing assistants. And they just don't make a lot of money. It will take a second job. It will take something on the side to get their income up. But guess what they can do to help themselves? In that 100 days, getting that income up, put it to one lump sum goal. If their lump sum goal is to pay off their car, weight off their back. Guess what happens? Their insurance goes from full comprehension to liability. They get a break here and there. Or if they pay their rent for a few months, they get some kind of breather room on that. So, same thing. 100 days on credit. Let's say, you're getting all these inquiries off, you're getting all these bad marks off your credit, and you get 3 new lines. And you're keeping it under 30%. In about 90 days, about 100 days, you're going to see some kind of bump. If you don't see a 100-point bump on your credit, you're going to have to check back with the person who's helping you clean your credit up, because that's usually the average there. That it bumps up 100 points, because if there's nothing else on there but those 3 lines, maybe they're just small secure loan lines, your credit's going to bump for that. Same thing with business credit. That a business in 76 to 100 days could have over $100,000 in financing. And I know that blows people's mind, but if you go check out bank info, business credit info, it will just blow your mind how big and how wide a business can grow in 76 to 100 days. Hey, Ty Lopez, okay? There's many, many people like that, okay? But the access to business credit is crazy. All right. So let's say you have a different 100 days. Your 100 days is to grow your business. Let's say you're like, Erica, I'm laid off. I got this unemployment coming in, but it's only probably going to last 100 days. Hey, I've been there. I understand that. It's partly why I tell people, build something on the side, right? So let me give you an example, okay? Beachbody. There's a ton of stories of people who, guess what? In 38 days, they went diamond. And people are like, Eric, I don't know what diamond means. That means they had 8 people sign up underneath them to be coaches, right? And I go, well, Erica, that doesn't sound like a lot. Man, that could be income anywhere from, let's see, a diamond. That would probably give them in a week, geez Louise, if I thought about it. I'd have to really pinpoint it down. I don't want to lie to you on the numbers there. But if they went diamond in 38 days, that meant they were getting $2,000 a week. Now, that's on the higher end, but around that, they would be getting $1,000 to $2,000 a week. Because they should be getting a lot of sales of Beachbody products and other things like that on top of signing up coaches. And their coaches should be actively signing up people. So, imagine that. That lady went diamond in 38 days. So, if she was in the higher end, she got $2,000 a week. That means she got $8,000 a month. Okay? So, hey, force. And I'm telling you, you know what she did? She put videos out. She put challenge groups together. She really, really, really went and helped and served a lot of people to get those 8 to go, I want to be under that kind of leader. Okay? And I've seen it happen on Facebook. I've seen it happen in mastermind groups where people put that good, great Facebook advertising out and they made it. Okay? My econ. All right? You sign up 7, that's $1,000. I've seen people in 100 days, their first 100 days running, sign up 20-some people. So, yeah, they got about $3,000 out of that. Now, 100 days in real estate, they say new agents, their first 100 days are important because a lot of times, I think it's 87% of agents by their 5th year, fail or don't sell a house. That sucks, okay? So what do we try to do with our first 100 days as an agent? Our first 8 to 12 weeks, which 12 week, we're going towards the 13th week, when we say 100 days. Open houses. And in Weichert Realtors, every 1 in 3 open houses results in a closing. So imagine if they did one every week for 8 to 12 weeks. They might close on 3 to 4 houses. You know what the average agent does a year? 3 to 4 houses. And they're knocking that out the park their first 100 days. Imagine the difference their life will have. Real estate investing. Let me tell you, man, there's a great coach and she's like, I can't guarantee you, but if you're pinpointing a house under $45,000, I can get you getting passive income of $800 to $1,200 in an 8 to 12 week period. Why does she know that? Because we're going to check over your credit. We're going to see what it looks like. We're going to see what you can afford, what you can get approved for. Maybe you can just get approved for lines of credit. Maybe you can get approved for another house. And a house that's 35 to 45 grand is equivalent to a car. Some banks don't even want to deal with those tiny houses. Some banks do. So once we've worked that out, who will deal with you, who will finance you, who will help you if you can collect that money together. If it's tax season, whatever, we can pinpoint you down in the next 100 days to find a property that's suitable for you, that works for you, that's turnaround and rentable, Not just closing it, but making sure that bad boy gets rented out and gets you that passive income you're looking for. So she's really great. You should check her out. Lisa Phillips of Affordable Realestateinvestments.com. I mean, that's part of her coaching. Go check that out. Another one people talk about, relationships. They're like, man, I want something to be different. But what are they doing different? I mean, I always challenge people, try 100-day. You ever notice in the summer where all these relationships bloom and people hang out all the time? Guess why? Because people are out of their house. For whatever reason, people think they're going to find somebody in their house. I make a joke all the time. There's all these young ladies who just sit in their house and watch Netflix, and young guys too. They're tired after work, and then they go, I don't know how I can't meet anybody. Well, it requires you to get out of your house. Okay? So just imagine for 100 days, let's say you're on a couple different websites. Let's say you're on a couple different dating pool opportunities, and you went on 2 dates a week for 100 days. Out of your 12-week experience, that would be 30 dates or so. That might be less. It might be more at 24. But overall, something would be moving, something would be shaking, something would be changing. You'd be seeing the difference, okay, in your dating life, okay? Let's say twice a week you did one lunch, one dinner with your friends. How different would your friendships be at the end of the 12 weeks? I mean, that would literally be, a deeper relationship because you're actually spending that time. You're actually spending that time. So, the same goes with, let's say twice a week you're like, I'm committed to going out. I'm committed to going out and meeting new people. And let's say you're going out and meeting new people as meetup groups, co-ed sports teams, happy hours, conferences, whatever. You're getting out there. That push in 100 days, you're going to start seeing the difference. There's just no way with that push of energy and a push of 100 days, you're not going to see the difference in your friendships, the dinners, the dates, the activity level. Man, you're going to have a busier life. Same thing goes for 100 days of book reading. Let's say it takes you 1 week to read a book. And some people only takes them 1 day. It happens. We know Ty Lopez reads one every day. Some people read every 2 or 3 days. But let's just give you a week, right? We can switch you over to audiobook if we need to, but let's just give you a week. If you read a book, you're going to be a book in hand for 100 days. And it takes you 1 week to read a book, and you'll have 8 to 12 books read by the end of your 100 days. Now, depending on how fast you read, depending on might be more, might be less, depending on the person. But that is the focus of that. You know how many people, the average American only reads 1 book a year? Barely. The average CEO reads 60. Yet people complain, why is my income not bigger? Well, who are you servicing? What do you have knowledge-wise? What can you share? What can you do for others? Well, they don't even read. So what can they do for themselves or you? Most people get to books because they're like, I need to know something. Or I'm broken. I want to change it. So then they pick up a book. Okay? That happens quite often. All right? So look, we've hit relationships. We've hit books. We've hit travel. Right? Oh, what? That's the one we didn't hit. Sorry, travel. Let's say 100 days of travel. There's travel blogs you'll read all the time where someone will save up all year and they'll spend a solid chunk of summer visiting national parks, camping, hiking. They'll go backpack Europe in the summer. They'll spend a week in each little country and then they'll go to the next because it's so cheap. That totally happens. And you can totally have that same life too, but you have to realize how much that costs. Do you know how different your life would be if you traveled for 3 months? Way different. Way different. Let's say break it down like this. 365 days a year. You spend 100 days traveling. That's 1/3 of your year. Let's even do it this way. Let's say you traveled 8 days in a month, right? Times 12 months, that's 90 days. That's almost 100 days. And somebody's going to say, Erica, who has a week off every month? You never know. Some jobs do. Oil riggers, sometimes they work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Truck drivers, sometimes a lot of those guys work 3 weeks on and then need a break, get a week off. So it happens. It's possible. Teachers all the time, when they're not working sometimes in the summer, they take a whole summer vacation. So look, 100 days is a long time. It's longer than you think, and it's a powerful amount of time to get something done, get something moved into your life. But you have to pick one or two at most. I mean, for me, I go, look, I'm going to build my business by doing, at 1 hour or so a day. I'm going to be blogging, YouTubing, podcasting, as you see right now. And then I'm going to spend that other hour doing fitness things. I'm going to, work out or run or jog or in a boxing class or something. But the average person, they're gonna go to work in a day, and they're gonna Eric, I just don't have all that time. Well, guess what? We gotta squeeze in that time where we can. If you're commuting 30, 40 minutes to work in the morning and at home on the afternoons, guess what? That's an hour to an hour some change that you could be listening to an audiobook. There's your book. That you could be listening to a podcast. You need those, right? So, I mean, there's ways around it, right? So then, after we leave work, you just drive yourself straight to Town Lake in Austin, if you're in Austin, to Town Lake and get to walking. Or you drive yourself straight to the gym. That's why gyms are so freaking packed from 5 to 7. Because people know if they go home and have to come back, they're not coming back. They're just going to sit at home and Netflix it. They're going to sit at home and watch TV. So they do straight there. Same thing with happy hours. I'll meet people who literally leave out of work to the happy hour. Why? Because if they had to go home and change and then come back, they just wouldn't do it. They don't have the energy, but when they get to the happy hour, they're around people, they're making the time, they're making the investment to build relationships or to have conversations with people. So look, I know John Lee Dumas is coming out with his 100 days to massive success or something like that, or completing something, but it's true. If you watch, if you read any biographies or you watch a ton of stuff, 100 days can change a whole person's life. The Army, basic training, is 12 weeks. They have a whole new soldier at the end of it. And literally the person is just doing push-ups, sit-ups, and being yelled at, and then re-examining things and learning their trade, particularly. I mean, they have a whole new person at the end of boot camp. It's not uncommon people, parents, to come see them at their graduation and go, who is that kid? I don't know who that kid is at all, right? So, you have to decide, Or if you're a teacher and you use your summer, because, you don't make a ton of money, that 100 days in your summer to work 1 or 2 jobs, to really rally your income in the summer because you want a life above a normal teacher's life. It's possible. It's possible for a couple who are deeply in debt to spend 100 days really working and using that lump sum to kind of tip them over the edge out of debt, right? So we have to use our days wisely. We really do. It's really important. So, look, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to conquer the world in 100 days. I'm not going to say you're going to build $1 million business in 100 days. But you will be in the right direction in business, the right direction in credit, the right direction in your health, if you have a hard 100-day push. Decide what's important to you this year. What is your non-negotiable? For me, it was going to Italy, because I had put it on my list for years and I've never concrete said, I got to go. So I looked up flights. Guess what happened? Boom, Baltimore to Iceland, $200. EasyJet, Iceland to Italy, $65 one way. So I'm going to Italy on my first leg for $265. I mean, people are going to be like, no way, Erica. Yes way. So, if you do it round trip, that's $500. Think about it. So, I want you to find your non-negotiable this summer. Is it weight? Is it health? Can you challenge yourself to walk, 2 or 3 miles every day when you come home from work, or go to the gym, before you go home, so that your 100 days, you see your body difference, you see the weight drop, you see the inches come off? Can you challenge yourself to 100 days of juicing or green smoothies in the morning so that your body is getting the nutrients it needs and flushing all the processed crap out? It's a big difference. It's a big difference in how you feel. And 100 days is a huge, impactful moment. If you really think about it, 100 days could change the projection for the next rest of the year. There are people in MLM companies and in real estate who had an on-fire 100-day summer, an on-fire 100 days in their business, Crap, even the president, when he comes and says his first 100 days agenda. Why? Because he wants to kick his presidency off in a spiral, right? And we call it a spiral, but I mean like in a momentum push, right? Because if you start, that's why when people say, oh, January 1st, New Year's resolution, most people quit by February. I tell them, don't quit. Just restart your 30 days. Oh, you fell off? Restart it again. Okay, you fell off by March, restart it yourself again. That's why sometimes we can't even break these things down to 100 days. Sometimes we have to break them down to 30 days at a time. And I've had to do that in coaching. I've had to do that in consulting. I've had to say, oh, what are your business goals? Okay, well, let's just tackle what you're going to do this month. You're going to put out this many blog posts. You're going to put out this many products. Or you're going to do this many calls. Or you're going to do this many open houses. Or you're going to look at this many properties so we can actually sit down and pick a property for you. You're going to sit out your non-negotiables so you buy the house that you want. Not the house that's left over because everybody's picked over all the houses. That's the worst. Buying a house in a market where you're like, this is not what I want. I mean, my mother has a beautiful house. And she was in a bidding war on another house. And to this day, she's like, man, I still wish I got that other house. Even though they look very similar. And just in different neighborhoods. I mean, to this day. So, a 100-day push can really get you centered, get you focused. On what's a non-negotiable for you. If you say, listen, I want to learn Spanish because it's one of my big negotiables this year. I would say, boom, focus the next 100 days on learning Spanish. If that means you have to go take a class at community college, whatever that means the next 12 weeks you're tied up, okay? And your friends are like, what are you doing every afternoon? I'm going to learn Spanish right now. I'm busy, okay? Even though people say you can learn in a few weeks or a few days, I just say commit that 100 days to it. So that you have mastery. Not just a little bit, but mastery. If I said, look, dude, I'm going to quiz you at the end of 100 days on business startups. What would you do if I were you? I would go run to the Barnes & Nobles, find at least 10 books. Really, honestly, if I'm going to be honest, 20 books on business startups that I thought were the best. And in those, I would recommend 4-Hour Workweek. I'd recommend the $100 Startup. There's a couple others I recommend about marketing, but overall, I'd grab 20 books, I'd read and get the most valuable input out of them, and go, boom, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And take the test and be done and master the test. Right? That's why people say, I'm self-talk, I'm autodidact. When people say that, what they're saying is, I've read probably 30 times more books than you on the same subject, so I know the subject, and can talk about it just the same level you can. I know many guys who come out of the Army who are engineers, and a guy who spent all this money in school to be an engineer is like, well, that guy doesn't know what I know. But that guy has hands-on learning. He has hands-on learning probably more than you. So, keep that in mind. 100 days push. If you're like, hey, Erica, this summer I'm going to Brazil for whatever, we'll go pick up books for Brazil. In the next 100 days, just immerse yourself in Brazil. Portuguese, culture, food, whatever. So that when you get there, yeah, it's a culture shock. It's still going to be a culture shock, but you're there and you're prepared. Because being prepared is amazing, okay? And getting yourself a head start is amazing. So, same thing with Grant Cardone. I pick up Grant Cardone books. I didn't pick up one, I picked up a ball. And I read the 10X. I read the If You're First, Not First, You're Last, Sell or Be Sold. But guess what? It keeps taught me over and over again. Sell or be sold. Sell yourself on this non-negotiable. If this is non-negotiable, I meet people all the time say, I wish I could travel. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. And I go, what can you do this year, this month, this week to get to that goal? I meet people all the time say, I really want to pay off this student loan debt, but yet keep making $60, $100 minimum payments. Instead of going, you know what? This year I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to take my $5,000 refund check from the government and put it on my student loans. So just a chunk of it's out of my way and gone. The average person has $20,000 in debt. And if the average person put $1,000 a month in 2 years, they'd be free. And people go, Erica, $1,000? Listen. If the average person worked, let's say he just worked Papa John's, or he did some kind of side job, or he bartendered or whatever, and he had an extra $500 a month coming in income, and he just took $1,000 and dropped it on the student loan debt every month. He still had $500 left over. But he did that every month. By the end of 20 months, which is before 2 years is up, he'd be done. Shoot, we can even break that down to $700 a month. He did $700 a month, minimum. and he was free. But yet we have people 10 years later still saying they're not free, and they're only working one job that only pays them $30 a year, but yet they don't want to make any kind of change to kick butt. So listen, 100-day push. That's how important it is. That's the difference of pushing. Is the guy who paid off his student loan debt in 24 months, or the guy or girl who is still 10 years, almost 12 years out and still can't finish the debt. For some reason can't, if you only have $20,000 in debt, that means you have to just shovel off $2,000 a year. And we're saying if interest is really, really low. I know, you're going to say interest. I know, but I'm just saying, $2,000 a year for 10 years. So you're telling me $2,000, you don't have $100 a month, $150 a month, $200 a month? Double down those payments. I mean, think about it. $2,000 a month. I mean, literally, if that was you, just go ahead and give them your tax refund every year and pay off your student loan debt that way, because for some reason you can't seem to get it done. Just lump sum that thing out and get it over with. Same thing with cars. Same thing with credit cards. $100, the next 100 days, any extra money you make is going on that credit card and getting put away and done. You'd be amazed what you can accomplish if you really buckle down, focus, and say this 100 days will be different from the last. It will be completely new, and I will have this amazing life, and it will change. Things will change for me. And that's just the way it must be. So, look, this one went a little bit longer than I wanted, but it's perfect. I'll break these down into smaller ones probably in the future, but 100 days is a big thing. And when I did a video a while ago called Summer Madness, I said, listen, 12 weeks is a long time. Do you know what can happen in 12 weeks if you're really focused? Just say you focus on one big goal. If it's health for you. For some people, it's money. For some people, it's college. For some people, it's travel. Pick your thing. Pick your one thing. That way, you put up on a giant vision board and you don't lose track. You say in the next 100 days, I'm getting a girlfriend, or whatever, a boyfriend, whatever. And you put on the best dress clothes you can. You go out to all the events you can. You ask and you check out people. You should have a different next 100 days after that. That's all I'm going to say. So, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. 100 Days to Mastery, 100 Days to Success. It's possible for you. I hope you guys got some notes out of this. I hope you guys got some kind of push out of it. You guys, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. You guys have a great day.